Newport News in Review starts right now.
Hello, I'm Aaron Pritchett, and welcome to this edition of Newport News in Review for the month of October 2010. Picture-perfect skies, unforgettable sunsets, and eye-catching colors that are sure to delight, as this beautiful time of year puts on one spectacular display of color. And as fall's beauty continues to unfurl and cooler temperatures move in, it's the perfect opportunity to get outside and enjoy some good old-fashioned football. But not just any football, and for that matter, not just at any old football stadium. Because this month we're taking you under the lights and onto the field for some of the best AAA Peninsula District high school football action around, from the very iconic John B. Todd Stadium right here along Warwick Boulevard and Minton Drive. From just one glance, it's quite a sight to see, serene yet exciting, and immediately deep down inside begins to evoke feelings of a very special place where dreams are born, hearts are broken, and memories are made. And for more than 40 years, this Field of Dreams has been a place to call home for the high schools in the Newport News public school system, giving lifelong citizens and fans a love affair of sorts with the game that allows them to reminisce of years gone by. For the younger generation, a place to hold hands, socialize, and cheer on the team to victory. And for the future athletes of tomorrow, the perfect stage to hone their skills, learn the importance of winning, losing, and learning from it, and the opportunity to hopefully one day make it big. But believe it or not, it's much more than this, because beyond the physical things, like the towering lights, the metal bleachers, and the meticulously manicured field, it's the stadium's namesake that stands out, keeps you guessing, and more importantly, holds the true secret to this very iconic landmark. John Buxton Todd, a name and face that not too many people know, but a man that truly let his talent shine here in this community, in this region, throughout the state of Virginia, and beyond. Because John Todd made his presence known with his ability to play sports, football, baseball, basketball, and track. But he just didn't play them, he excelled at them, especially out on the gridiron. From leading the former Newport News High School to the first official Virginia State High School football title in 1920, to truly making a name for himself at the College of William and Mary, as quoted in the 1925 Colonial Echo yearbook. Without exception, Todd has been the greatest center that has ever played on an Indian team. But his memorable time and commitment on the field was no different than how he carried himself off the field, because he went on to graduate with high honors from William and Mary and the Medical College of Virginia's School of Dentistry, eventually becoming one of the most respected dentists in the city of Newport News and the state of Virginia. But not even that could tackle him away from his love for sports, and in particular, football, as he became a pioneer in introducing the mouthguard in high school football, and was also seen on numerous occasions on the sidelines, and as one of the most sought-after college football officials in the country. So much so that he was picked by the late Newt Rockne to officiate many Notre Dame football games, and helped to officiate many major bowl games, including the Orange and Cotton Bowls. So the next time when the lights are on and the football action begins, remember the man and the name behind the stadium, John Buxton Todd, a man who left a legacy, a man who loved life and loved the game, always excelling, always achieving, on and off the field, and something that he would want you to remember every time you pass by or step foot in Todd Stadium, because in the end, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you played the game. We are proud to feature the iconic Todd Stadium and encourage you to support school athletics and any other event going on at this very special local landmark. Well, October has been another busy month, so let's take a look at what's been going on right here in the city of Newport News.
And action.
It's their moment to shine, as one local museum gets some national exposure and the opportunity to uncover a little mystery, thanks to its very knowledgeable staff and a wide array of priceless artifacts, and in particular this wooden box that holds the only known physical link to a very puzzling past.
Jumbo fry.
It looks so good you can probably taste it. And with food like that, it can only mean one thing, festival. And we take you for a little stroll through the park with fabulous folk life, and then onto the square for an art experience like no other. And these are the hallways of your public schools. quite crowded, and a little intimidating, but best of all, safe, as we take you along to show you what the Newport News Police Department, in conjunction with the Newport News Public School System, are doing to make a difference in the lives of our children. School days are here again, but the look and feel of school is much different than probably what you remember, because now there are plenty of key components in place and some very special people that do all they can to make sure things run as smooth as possible, and more importantly, to keep everyone safe. From administrators to teachers to security to even the Newport News Police Department, as school resource officers in our middle and high schools play a key role in not only keeping the peace, but more importantly, connecting with kids in the hopes of making a difference in their lives.
Police officers are somebody that these kids look up to. So I'm here every day, hopefully being a good example for them, being a good role model, showing them what a good police officer is, and hopefully they will carry that into their high school and into their college and into their lives. My day starts at 6:30 in the morning. Good morning. Did you have a good weekend? Good. I'm out front when the kids first get here. It's dark. A lot of parents don't want to drop their kids off to a dark school by themselves, so I'm out front with them. Good morning, guys. They're allowed to come in at 7 o'clock in the morning. Good morning. Jason, go to class. Hello. I greet kids, I talk to them, deal with any problems that may arise, and then, when class starts, I'll check the outside of the building, I'll be inside, they see me walking around, I try to be out in the hallways as much as I can, a regular face that they see. A lot of the kids don't even realize that I'm a real police officer, because the ones coming up from elementary school, they didn't have an SRO at their school. I explain that, I'm here to protect the campus. I try to make sure that I don't want them to be afraid of me. Good morning. I make them understand that I'm here to protect them in case anything should ever happen. Will that happen here? The chances are so slim, but I'm here just in case. Guys, stop running. Stop running. It doesn't get old. There are enough people here, and I do enough different things that, it keeps me on my toes. It keeps things interesting. Good morning, everybody. As y'all know, I'm Officer Peters. I'm your school resource officer, and I'm being a part of a program this year called Virginia Rules, helping teens live with the law. I teach classes here on campus. I teach about the law. I teach about bullying. I teach about the effects of drug and alcohol and all those kind of things. So I go into a lot of classrooms. It's part of the Virginia Rules program. It's a program that was started by the Attorney General's office, and they send me PowerPoints, handouts, pre and post tests. All the information is there, and I go in and I teach. My job is to make it interesting to the students, to develop anecdotes, examples, and ways to keep them involved in the discussion. I've heard it all, okay? How many donuts have you eaten today, and why aren't you at the donut shop? I have to know that what those people say doesn't matter. This is not personal. I'm here to do a job, and I'm going to do my job. And it doesn't matter what you say, what you call me, what you tell me I smell like, how little I am, or any of those things, because in the end, you're going behind those bars like this, and I know that. So that's what you guys have to learn to do in your lives, not arrest people like I do, but to build your confidence in what you do and in who you are, so that it doesn't matter to you what people say about you, because once they figure out that it doesn't matter, they're going to go away.
I think it's important to have a role model, to have somebody, to be there to that you can take your issues to. They're here to protect us.
I'm here at your school every day. Police officers are somebody that these kids look up to. We want them to see the personal side of us. We want them to understand that we have to do our job, and we will do our job when it's necessary, whether it's helping with security or somebody breaks a law on campus. So I'm here every day, hopefully being a good example for them, being a good role model, showing them what a good police officer is, and hopefully they will carry that into their high school and into their college and into their lives.
9 to 10, is everything all right?
Yes, 10-4.
Every day is a new day. High school, you're dealing with a lot more enforcement, cover a lot of ground, trying to find those kids that are in unauthorized areas, places they shouldn't be, doing things they shouldn't be doing, and getting them back in class where they need to be so they can get an education. You catch a kid with cigarettes, what else are you going to catch them with? It's just a good thing to let the students know, hey, I'm watching. Kids in high school age, because of street smarts, what have you, they've learned to not like police officers. And so you got to learn to befriend them. I don't want to be their friend. I mean, I'm 45 years old. I don't need 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds as friends. But on the other hand, I want them to be able to have a certain level of trust in me. And that comes from them knowing you as a person, not just the uniform. Go to class. I love my job. I really enjoy working with young people. And that will make you or break you as a school resource officer. If an officer became a school resource officer and they did not like working with kids, they're going to have a miserable time in their job. What's up? And the students are not going to cooperate with them because the students can see whether you like them or not. I would hope that they would be able to say, yeah, Zen's, he's approachable. And if they feel comfortable approaching me, if they've got a problem they feel I can help them with, then that's great, I've done my job.
Number one, we're role models. We should be providing guidance for our students. Impact, I don't think we really see the impact until later on because the right now effect we're not going to see the impact right now. It's when students come back and tell us what an impact we have been in their lives.
What I want to see as a school resource officer of Denby High School, I want to see these kids succeed. I want them to be successful in life. I want them to be good citizens. I want them to be able to get out of high school, get into the workforce or go to college, whichever they choose, and be productive. And that's kind of my personal goal. If I can help these kids to do that in any way, then again, that's a great thing. That's an admirable thing. And when you give that respect, you're going to get something in return. And I've given respect, and overall, I've gotten a lot of respect back, and I really appreciate that with these young people.
You can scream and you can yell. You can even jump up and down. In this day and age, getting someone's attention can be quite the challenge. But in the course of your efforts, it's very important to remember and to have on your side a little notoriety, as well as plenty of mystery surrounding you. So much so that in the end, you find yourself with national exposure. And that is indeed the case for our very own Mariners Museum, as they were recently in the spotlight thanks to a little visit from the Travel Channel, as they came to town to produce a new program that looks to reveal mysteries at the museum.
We're here today because we're doing this survey for the Travel Channel for a new series called Mysteries at the Museum. We've been traveling all around the country finding the best museums that we can and some of the most interesting artifacts that tell really unique stories about American history, natural history, a hodgepodge really, but really what it is, it revolves around these museums, and the Mariners Museum happens to have an artifact that interested us, so we decided to come. Take a look at those notches again, just kind of, it's repetitive, but same thing, you're just kind of figuring out what this thing was used for. The artifact itself is a random, kind of innocuous looking supply box. What's interesting is that it was on a ship in the early 1900s, a U.S. Navy ship, Collier class, coal hauler, that is, to this date, it's the largest mystery in United States naval history. The ship completely disappeared. This is one of the few remaining artifacts that we have. And so basically what that does is it provides us with a contact point. We can take the tangibility of it and then have that tell the story for us. And Mark Newcup, who was our curator who walked us through, was the guy who did that for us. He was the knowledgeable one. He knew the story of the artifact. He knew the story of the Cyclops. He's connected with the museum, so he was really our main contact point in leading us through the story.
USS Cyclops was a Navy collier, a very large one of the largest built at the time, and it was designed to refuel battleships when they were deployed overseas. And the Cyclops' real claim to fame, though, is that it disappeared coming back from South America carrying a load of manganese ore. And because the vessel disappeared with all hands, there's just not a lot of artifacts that remain from this particular ship. Its loss remains the largest loss of life to a U.S. Navy vessel, not at wartime, that they've never been able to solve. The box wasn't recovered at sea or anything like that. Cyclops spent a good portion of its career home ported out of Norfolk, so it's not surprising that souvenirs may have been taken off the ship and left around Norfolk. In this particular case, that's what happened. An individual bought a house in the 1920s in Norfolk and found this box in his basement underneath his house. He saved it, apparently used it for a little while, but in 1941, realizing the significance of it, that the ship was a notorious ship, offered it to the museum, and we accepted it, and it's been in the museum ever since.
And to this day, the disappearance of USS Cyclops is unsolved.
This is pretty neat. Travel Channel has some really, really nice productions, and of course, their their opinion goes a long way to driving tourism. So we were really happy to have them out. We were really happy to participate in the entire shoot.
It's extremely important for exposure for the city of Newport News when the film companies come in, or travel channels, or National Geographic. It's like one huge, big commercial for the city of Newport News. It's huge, huge, huge exposure that Newport News couldn't do. You know, I mean, we could not ever afford to buy the exposure that they're going to give for us in our city.
It's a luxury when you get to work in a show that you believe in. Not everyone has that luxury. The show that I'm working on right now, Mysteries at the Museum for the Travel Channel, just happens to be one of those shows. It's a great mission. You know, we take artifacts, we try to recreate that feeling of coming to a museum and stumbling upon an object. You have no clue what it is, you read about it, and all of a sudden this thing has history behind it. It has this whole past that you didn't know existed, and now that object has meaning. At the same time, we're promoting museums, we're getting people out there to want to come to these museums, which is part of our mission.
It's the cool autumn air, the anticipation, and the chance to come together to cheer on your favorite team as football excites and delights all across this great country. And right here in the city of Newport News, it's much the same. But lucky for us, we get to experience AAA Peninsula District High School football action at its best, and in a very special stadium that has not only become a local landmark, but more importantly named after a man by the name of John B. Todd, who indeed made an impact in his community, in sports, and everything he did in life.
As a child, you don't think about those things. You just think, this is my father. And I knew that he played sports. I knew that he liked football. I knew that he was an official. I knew that he was gone most weekends, but I don't really remember, maybe even until I was a teenager, that the amount of sports and the athlete that he was. He was just Daddy. There's a lot I don't remember, and there's probably a lot that I don't know. He and his brother played college football together at William & Mary. They both went to medical school. They both came back to Newport News to work. Daddy is a dentist and my uncle as a physician. As far as dentistry goes, he was past president of the State Dental Association, and I really don't know a lot about the professional career other than the mouth guard piece. My brother was in high school, broke his front teeth, of which my father was very, very unhappy. I believe that he and Julie Kahn had many words, and from that point on, there was never a football player in the city of Newport News that went on the field without a mouth guard. And I think from that point on, it was made mandatory that they had to wear a mouth guard to go on the field. It was an honor for the family, for the stadium to be named after him, and I guess that's just about it, that we felt as though it was an honor to Daddy and to all of us.
The stadium was built back in the 60s, and at that time each school had a field, so this became the central playing for all schools in the city. But as far as the quietness, it is serene. It had a lot of memories floating around out here from a lot of different individuals and folks who have visited and sat in the stands and watched the athletes play. Some of those folks are athletes or were athletes. And I don't know, it's just one of those places where that we think it is very important for the city, because we reference a lot to Todd Stadium. You go past Todd Stadium and turn to the left. Just before you get to Todd Stadium, you know, things like that. So it is an icon, I think, and we're proud to keep it looking the way that it is. We think that we're pretty close to a lot of college with our field. And when these guys come back, I talked to one last night outside the gate. The first thing that came out of their mouth was, "Gosh, Coach, it looks great," you know. And so that sort of tells us that when they were playing here, they thought the same thing. It was a grand place to be. And also, when our teams go away to other stadiums and fields, they'll always come back and say, "Well, this field looks better than where we played last week," or "It's softer," and it's just one of those things where they do appreciate what we're doing for them.
Take it, one ticket.
Tickets, please. Oh, Friday nights are great. I think that's when high school football is at its best, and there's nothing like a Friday night under the lights here. It's a beautiful place to play. You know, I think that, you know, that's a great thing we have here. We've got a beautiful field. We have a nice facility. There's nothing like it. Yeah, you know, we think that this is a great vehicle to talk to kids about doing things right. You know, obviously the character building that goes on the field each day and throughout the course of a week in preparation is very, very important. But also, you know, we talk about life skills with the kids and trying to, like I say, make a difference in the lives of these kids. Hopefully something I say will make them do something later down the road that's very, very positive.
Oh man, I love it. I grew up here, and I mean, just being able to come here and play a little football here myself, and then to just see my son grow up in the same environment. And I mean, Todd Stadium has been a landmark pretty much for this area for many years, a lot of years.
Get yourself together! Get yourself together!
You're on the air. Stand by to go 2. Take 2, please. Good. We're off and running, guys.
Well, one of the things that I really enjoy about this is just watching the students as they come along and have this glare in their eye wanting to try to make TV. I mean, produce, working live football. It's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of action. And I just enjoy it every year just to watch these new kids come on and then get excited and learn. It's just fantastic. You can't put a price on it.
Anytime you get that kid on TV, he's going to be exciting to watch.
You see Juan Jack's right there.
Todd Stadium is a staple. I mean, it's historical. It's been here for a long time. And the fact that people can come in the city and be a part of what happens in athletics, you know, it's just a great entity for this city, you know, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
It's original, it's innovative, and you better believe it's eye-opening, as one of the most highly anticipated art experiences continues, drawing in plenty of people and attracting some very creative world-class artists. And this year was no different. Just a little bigger and even better than the last, with the 6th annual Port Warwick Art and Sculpture Festival on beautiful Styron Square.
Well, the Port Warwick Foundation, with its partner, the Peninsula Fine Arts Center, is the host and really the energy behind the Art and Sculpture Festival. We're now in our 6th year, and we are very fortunate to have the Port Warwick Conservancy provide this beautiful space to us. It's the 3-acre green known as Styron Square in the middle of Port Warwick. And this whole weekend's been about featuring the artist and high-quality art and having something for everybody. Our goal this year, and our theme, if you will, has been all about making art accessible to folks, taking the intimidation of art away from art itself, because we believe that art is something that is necessary for the community and part of the lifeblood of what it is to be part of the human spirit.
I was a 20-year veteran welder. I've been doing that for a long time. I had the skill power, I just needed the willpower. You know, I needed to get out there and do it. Basically, I've made my whole entire theme around wildlife and just cultural life around Eastern Shore. You know, I'm a shore veteran since 1600s. All my people have been there from the get-go. And, you know, I try to bring to the art world things that are really significant to me that they don't get to see very much. You know, the little scenes with the men poling up a creek and hunting, that's just something that we get to see out there and a lot of people don't. So I try to capture that in what I do.
Well, it was very special for me this year because I was asked in the summer to be the image on the poster and on all the brochures, so it was very exciting. It's great to get one-on-one with the public and see their reaction to my work. In fact, when there's crowds of people and they're walking, they're not watching ahead of them, they'll bump into each other because my work kind of stops the crowd.
Oh gosh, it's been one of the best opportunities of my life. I participated in the Genesis College Juried exhibition at PFAC. And after my piece, Work of My Life, won Best in Show, Michael Preble offered me the opportunity to be sponsored by PFAC and have my own booth, have my own setup. I got here Saturday morning, everything was all here waiting for me. I just had to hang my artwork up. It's been wonderful.
It's pure magic. When you can take this substance, the sand, the stuff that lays on the ground, you can pick it up and you can melt it in a furnace and you can do anything with it. It's such a versatile medium that you can go from any of these different shapes and sculptures to castings. Drop it into the mold, give it a little blow, that you never have to make the same thing twice, which is really what draws me to it. It's amazing. I live right down the road. I live in Kiln Creek. It's amazing to be able to be a part of it, to draw something in such a high-end art show just here in Newport News. You wouldn't really expect it, but it's one of my best shows of the year every year.
That's one of the things that really sets this festival apart from other art festivals, is really to get the families involved. I mean, Peninsula Fine Arts Center, we say art is what you make it, and we like to bring that wherever we go. So kids can take pieces of tile or pottery and add it to the wall. And it's really a collaborative thing with, so you get teenagers, little kids, mom and dad, grandparents, all involved in creating one piece of art.
Every artist has a patron. Every artist finds someone that gets them and understands them. And my personal philosophy, and I have to give credit to my wife, you never regret buying art. It speaks to you and it always gives back 10 times more. So one can never get too much art in their house because you can touch it every day, experience it every day. I've never had buyer's remorse from buying art. So it's all accessible, it's all for purchase, and the artists really want to give you this gift of their creation.
It's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And to be honest with you, it's a whole lot more than that. Because for the last 37 years, it's been creating memories for young and old alike, as the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism has proudly delivered a Newport News October tradition that creatively mixes the sheer beauty and spirit of fall with plenty of crafts, food, music, and everything else to do with folk life. For the Newport News Fall Festival of Folklife in beautiful Newport News Park.
Going to the country for the day, you stop and see a little bear play. Should you take that little bear home? No sir, no ma'am, no, no, no.
This is the 37th annual Newport News Fall Festival of Folklife. This is the granddaddy of all the festivals in Newport News, and it was another beautiful, beautiful day.
Jumbo fry. Thank you. You have a great day.
This festival is really different from a lot of events around.
Thin it down.
We have demonstrating crafts and trades, over 250 different kinds of crafts and booths, exhibits, all kinds of people selling and demonstrating, and it's educational, historical, lots of entertainment, 3 different stages of entertainment.
And once it stops bouncing around in your hand, it's centered?
Well, it's really interesting to see some of the crafts from the raw materials, and they'll show you the different stages it takes, whether it's the pottery or quilting, knitting. And they're just things that you don't see all the time. And it's nice to take a step back in time and see these heritage type crafts and trades.
I've been here probably about 20 years. It's great. We look forward to it every year. Actually, it's the only big show that I do. A lot of these type of crafts are dying art, and so I think it's important people know, how it operates, and it's an art form that's still available if there's an interest there. A lot of people don't understand the detail of a loom, and that, for example, this piece I'm working on right here has 400 threads across. So that's quite mind-boggling to some people, that I could string on 5 yards, 400 threads to each thread, and then come up with a product.
Newport News really likes to showcase this park. Newport News Park is 1 in a million, really. It's one of the largest parks east of the Mississippi River, municipal parks. And it's really nice to show off this time of year all the different attributes, and the weather is really cooperating. It feels good this time of year. We like to have this venue to show off these different kinds of activities. It's really a gem in the park system in Newport News, and we don't mind showing off a little to Hampton Roads and the region. We draw people from Richmond down to the Outer Banks to this festival, and crafters from all over the East Coast. So it's really a nice gem in the system.
Oh, it's great. I love the weather's great, and we're just spending some quality time. So it's kind of hectic, so just be able to kind of slow down and just go out and enjoy all the crafts and the beautiful weather in a nice shaded, beautiful park. It's a good time.
Well, that's about all the time we have for you this month. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Newport News in Review, as we've taken you under the lights of the very iconic John B. Todd Stadium, and greater yet, revealed the man behind the very famous name. And as always, on behalf of everyone here at Newport News TV, whether you're watching us on TV or online at nngov.com, Facebook, or YouTube, thanks for watching. And we'll see you here real soon for the November edition of Newport News in Review right here on Newport News Television.